is Terrance Copper, NFL veteran.
It's your boy DC Golden.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bud Supreme.
DJ Johnson, wide receiver for East Carolina University.
This is Jordan Adams with the Los Angeles Angels.
Packard, baseball player for the Detroit Tigers, and you're watching Good Talk.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Good talk.
This is Good Talk.
I promised that I could never. I got the sauce, I'm lit forever. Hey, no, I'm not a rapper, I got cheddar. And my neck on
What's up, guys? It's JJ with Goodies and Two Shoes. Episode 1 of Good Talk, and I'm here with NFL veteran Terrance Copper. How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Good, chilling. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So I was first introduced to you through Coach Pascal, one of your former coaches. One of my former coaches, coaching at Washington initially. Then he came over to Conley my freshman year, and you came and spoke to us, the team, about being resilient, fighting through adversity, and that's one of the things that stuck with me about your character and things like that, and just played a significant role in my high school career and then really what I'm doing now, pushing through hard times and things of that nature. So
that's cool.
First, want to start off by saying thank you. When I first met you, I was starstruck because, young kid, high school, goal is to be in the NFL, and then, he tells us that we got an NFL guy coming, so I remember, just going up to you and just be like, what's up? Just, quick, but nervous on real.
You make me feel old.
Nah, definitely not. So just take me through your journey, really, just from the beginning.
Man, my journey has been crazy. Roller coaster, ups, downs, shucks. Just growing up in Little Washington.
Yeah.
Single parent home. Father figure wasn't there, so I was raised by my mother. But also raised by my grandmother, honestly, because my mom worked all the time, because she had to provide for me and my brother.
Correct.
So raised by my grandmother. Father figure wasn't there, but I was always raised in church.
Right.
I'm talking about even young age. Look, I don't care. It was always me, my brother, my 2 cousins.
Yeah.
And we all had our own little cliques.
Yeah.
So I had my little set of friends.
Right.
My brother had his set of friends. My cousins had their set of friends. And we all stayed in one little room. So any given time, it was always going to be probably about, four of us. It could be about 8 other guys in that room spending the night. You know what I'm saying?
But chilling,
just chilling. Yeah.
But y'all young, so it's just
we're young. But look, I'm gonna tell you something. It didn't matter because at the end of the day, if you stayed at the house at me or stay with me on Saturday, my grandma already told you, bring your church clothes.
Going to church in the morning.
Going to church on Sunday. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? So
I know that.
So I grew up in church, man, and I know. My grandmother really put us on the right path.
Right.
My mom also. She worked her butt off. But somewhere down the line, man, like I said, the fact that I started on varsity as a freshman.
Right.
So I hung with older guys. I was always hanging with older guys.
Which probably wasn't best necessarily in that time.
It matured me a lot, but it also exposed me to a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
100%.
Man, young age, me and my homeboys used to be out in the corner, right down the street from my grandma's on the corner, drinking, out late, just all types of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Too young to be doing now.
Exactly.
If I was with my kids now, they're way too young. They have people out there doing the things we was doing. And so by doing those things, when I got to high school, my grades started to falter. It started to be wavy, be shaky. So, like I said, I told you I started on varsity as a freshman.
Right.
After my freshman year, NC State, UNC Chapel Hill came in.
Okay.
They came in, talked to Coach Pascal. Coach, he got good film.
Yeah.
He got good film, What's his 40 time? Coach told him my 40. He got time. He can work on that. He can work on that. Coach.
Still a young guy.
Freshman.
100%.
What's his grades? That's the next question.
And that's
what his grades look like? And I'm a freshman. What his grades look like? At that point in time, man, I was a 1.8, 1.9.
So struggling.
He ain't said nothing else. Closed the book. Got up. Walked out. Walked out.
That was the first kind of opportunity.
That was my first time really experiencing, somebody really telling me no.
Yeah. Okay.
Closing the door on me and just, what I'm saying? No words. Ain't nothing else to it. That's what your grades are that. And that's one thing when I'm talking to kids, we got to understand that when you're at a young age like that, your grades reflects your character at a young age. That's how you're judged.
Correct. That's true.
You know, if you got bad grades, guess what? You're not a high character guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So our grades when you're young really reflects your character, whether or not you're a bad kid or not. But when people look at you, oh man, he's a bad, his grades aren't good, I don't want my child hanging with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
I mean, that just messes up your future, really trying to get into college.
Exactly.
All of that different kind of stuff. It kind of sets you back in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't have that father figure. You know what I'm saying?
To
They kind
steer you in that
of steer me in the right direction.
Right.
But I can say, man, Coach Pascal, he stepped up to the plate for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Coach Pascal, it was other guys, other coaches as well. But Coach Pascal really was the one, when he became that father figure for me, to kind of step up, you know, let me understand, listen, you got an opportunity to do something special.
Right.
You know, so I bust my tail, grind to the point when I got to my senior year, I had to make all A's.
Yeah.
I had to make all A's in order to get into college.
Mm.
And by the grace of God, man, I pulled it off.
Yeah.
I pulled it off.
That's
So I
pretty
barely
cool.
got in East Carolina by like the skin of my teeth.
Yeah.
Barely got in. And so once I got to East Carolina, we had things that happened where my grandmother ended up dying, because I told you I'm raised by my grandmother, raised by her. So my grandmother ended up dying.
Right.
And so once she died, man, I started going right back to the things I used to do. You know what I'm saying? Drinking, partying, women. It was just everything I was big enough to do. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I got, and this, matter of fact, this was right before, I want to say my junior year. It was my junior year.
Okay.
When she passed, like I said, I started stressing, going back doing things I used to do.
Junior year in high school.
Junior year in college.
In college, okay.
This is in
At
college.
ECU.
At East
Okay.
Carolina. So when she died, like I said, I started doing everything I was big enough to do. I ended up getting into an altercation with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up fighting him, and I get sued. Jeremy, I get sued. I'm in college.
Yeah.
I get sued for
Wow.
$15,000. It ain't even funny. It ain't even funny. But,
yeah, right.
But I
just
learned so much
crazy.
from it. It's crazy. But I learned so much from it. So I got sued for $15,000. And once that happened, and all this happened because it happened the summer of my junior year.
Okay.
But we never really got to court for it until my senior year in college. You know, so once I got to court for it, so the judge like, okay, Mr. Copper, you either pay this $15,000 or you go to jail for 45 days. That was
There was no other option.
that was my option.
Yeah, you
That was my
can't
option.
get around that.
Can't get around it. You know, so, and this happened a month before the draft. I'm expecting
Terrible
to get
timing.
I'm
Yeah.
expecting to get drafted anywhere from the 4th to the 7th round.
Right.
But once the scouts got a whiff of that, they felt like, again, my character. I don't know if this
One
is the-
altercation. like-
exactly. I don't know if this is the guy we want representing our program. So that pushed me to free agency. So I didn't get drafted. And at that point in time, Jeremy, it was me and Larry Fitzgerald battling back and forth with the most catches in the nation.
Yeah.
At one point, I was leading, like 6 games ago in the season, I was leading the nations in receptions.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah, 'cause I was looking at your stats the other day. I noticed that you had like 87, I believe.
Yeah,
your
but
senior
now
year,
see,
so-
that was before all this wide open offense done started.
Yeah,
You know
I was
what
about to
I'm
say, that was
This-
before like the
this was in-
spread and all of that.
This
came
was in pro style offense, Coach Logan offense. This was
Mm-hmm.
more of a pro style offense, and having 87 catches in a pro style offense,
That's
you know,
major.
That's a lot of catches.
Yeah.
You know, and so once that happened, I got pushed to free agency.
Mm.
So here I go. The Dallas Cowboys gave me an opportunity to make it. Great opportunity. But here I am, number 10 on the depth chart.
Yeah.
We got 10 guys at camp. We only keeping 5. 4 played last year. So you had Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah.
You had Terry Glenn.
Studs.
Yeah. You had AB, Antonio Bryan from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Then you had a special teams guy. I forgot his name. Don't get mad at me, bro, because we actually friends, but I ain't seen him in a long time. It's back in Dallas. Randall. Randall, big 6'3", 6'4" guy, could run, special teams guy. So we had him on the team. So then you had Zerial. So matter of fact, we had 5 guys that already came back. So we was keeping 6. All right. keeping 6. So basically, you got 4 guys fighting for 1 spot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the situation I'm in. And at the end of the day, remember I told you,
You have no choice.
I have no choice.
15,000 or you gonna do that 45
or
days?
I do 45 days. And I remember just as good, man. The reporter during training camp, she put a mic in my face. She said, "Well, Mr. Copper, if you don't make the team, what is your plan B?" Because she didn't know my story. She didn't know everything was going on with me. So I told her, I said, "Ma'am, I don't have a plan B. Making this team is my plan A, B, C, and D. I got to make this team. I'll make the team." That's one thing about speaking stuff into existence.
Yes.
Right? So,
big.
so I knew where my roots was from. I told you I grew up in church. So I called my pastor and just talking about things. So I really started getting my Bible, reading my Bible, really being committed to what I was reading. You know what I'm saying? Really focusing on God, because I knew that's the only way
To get through that situation.
I was gonna get through it. I'm gonna make the team, man. When you get to the league, you see some freaking nature guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about some freakish athletes. You know,
Yeah.
you think you the best guy. Nah, you might be good at your position, but when it comes to athleticism,
It's different.
you see some freakish guys, man.
Yeah,
I'm
especially
telling
when
you.
you coming out of college, you going to
Yes.
another level. Like
Yes.
all of them guys are trying to feed their family.
Exactly.
Like, so it's not just like playing for fun. This is work.
Exactly. So like I said, I went back to the Word. I went back to my Bible, and praying, really focused on God, and God made it happen for me. Right. So once I make the team, now, and at this point in time, this is the first time I really seen me really being focused on God. Because in church, I mean, I grew up in church, but I still never seen God in my eyes.
Right.
It's immature.
Of course.
You never see really how God really is really working in your life at a young age until you get older and you start to realize
Dealing with your own stuff, problems, and all of
this
that.
ain't nothing but God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at that point in time, that was my first time really seeing God in my eyes move. Even though he always been moving in my life, but I was just mature enough to understand
What was going on?
what was going on.
Spiritual realm.
Exactly.
Right.
And so once I get to that point, now I know the power of God, right? And so in the Bible, it speaks on praying. You need to pray in and out of season.
Right.
I was doing the exact opposite. Quick story. So in the NFL, you get paid 17 weeks, right? 16 games in a bye week.
Right.
So if I got $1 million contract, I get paid $1 million in 17 weeks, you know, for the season.
Right.
Then after that, you know, it's the all season. But our contracts aren't guaranteed in the NFL. So this is what I was doing, because I know the power of God. Here I am, okay. During preseason, God, please allow me to make this team. You know, I do your will. I do everything you want me to do.
Right.
And I was sincere about it. I was real sincere about it. God allowed me to make the team, right? Off season, I done made a team. I made my money. I'm back to doing, I'm clubbing, I'm drinking, I'm women. It's just
losing your way, kind of going back to that same
going back to it. I'm a young guy. Think I look halfway decent with a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
It's been real with you.
100%.
Yeah. And once the off season over with,
back on it, same thing.
back on. God allowed me to make this team. So I was toe testing my faith. And one thing I tell you about toe testing for anybody, you go to the water, you stick your toe in the water. If it's too cold,
Right.
you ain't getting
You
in.
ain't getting
You know
in.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's what I was
100%.
doing. I was toe testing them. And I was confusing routine with commitment. Routine, like when I'm describing it to younger people, routine is when, you know, you get up, you read your Bible every morning. Let's say you read your Bible 3 times a day. You read it in the morning, afternoon, and at night. That's just routine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But commitment is actually doing, and I'm using the Bible for instance because this is just
Your
part of my
personal
life.
experience,
Yeah, this is my
right,
personal
of course.
experience. But it's actually, commitment is actually doing what the Bible is telling you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Living your life based on it.
Yeah, and you're not gonna be perfect, but you're not gonna be doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Doing right at one point, then the other half of the season, really kind of neglecting it. You know what I'm saying? And just doing whatever I wanted to do.
Feeling like you were arrived in a way.
Exactly. And so that's why when you look at my career, a lot of people's like, man, this dude retired in his 10th year. You know, he had a successful career. To a certain extent, I did. But that wasn't the career I wanted for myself. I wanted to get to a team and stick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go from team to team, 2 years here, 3 years there. But what was going on, man, I was really getting moved in different situations to the point to where, and don't get me wrong, other teams had Bible study, where mass, and they have chapel the night before the game.
Yeah.
And so, but I bounced around a lot because I was just really unstable. I was half of the year, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Another half of the year,
in your own little world.
I'm doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Out here, yeah.
And so I started bouncing around, man, from team to team. So I finally got with a team, man, the Kansas City Chiefs, where I met some guys that was really focused. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We started having Bible study. We started having couples Bible study. So my wife, she was going with me. We started having team Bible studies. You know, so it became, I was in it more, year round.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Year round.
That's where that commitment started.
Yep.
Gelling for
And
you.
then you had guys that was coming in under me. Now once I got to Kansas City, this was my last stop. I got to Kansas City and I was year 8, 9, 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? I was in those years, my latter years. And so now I got rookies coming in and asking me, Cop, how you doing it? How you stay in the league so long? And at this point in time, when you got guys ask you that, you can't be out doing the same things.
Right, because you have to set that example.
You got to accept the example.
Right.
Because truthfully, I'm going to tell you something. Truthfully, the way I made it, the way I stayed in that long, it ain't nobody but the grace of God. That's real. And so that's what I had to let these guys know. Of course, you got to work your butt off. But it's a lot of things that go on in the league that you just have no control over. And if you sit there and be bitter about something or be upset or take something personal because how maybe you got treated, maybe you're not starting, you should be starting. It's a lot of stuff behind closed doors you just don't know. You just don't have no control over it at all. I seen guys that I felt like was better than me get cut because I had a relationship with the coaching staff that came in. They're not saying I wasn't good enough to play.
Right, of course, but at the same time, you know yourself and you know different talent in the league.
Exactly.
Right.
But the guy that got cut maybe wasn't this new coaching staff, one of his guys.
Right.
I was one of their guys. You know what I'm saying? But so sometimes you get cut because you're just not one of their guys. You know what I'm saying?
It happens. It's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. Let's say if you're a coach, you know, and you get a new coaching job, you're gonna bring your staff in, the guys you want, you know, and you're gonna bring guys that you already played with or had a relationship with, that you know, some dogs, and you're gonna bring them in here. And you got to get rid of whoever you got to get rid of because I need this guy in my building.
So did you feel like that kind of happened with you and Sean Payton when you and Dallas split ways? Because Sean Payton, if I'm not mistaken, he was your old coordinator, and then he got the head coaching job in New Orleans.
That's how I stayed in the league so long. I'm gonna tell you this: how to not burn bridges. You cannot burn bridges. So I'm gonna hit on this point, and I'm gonna get back to what I was talking to you about.
Okay.
So when I first got in the league, my first 2 years in the league, I played with the Dallas Cowboys. I was under Bill Parcells, the legend Bill Parcells is the head coach. Bill Parcells is the head coach. Todd Haley was the wide receiver coach. Sean Payton was the offensive coordinator. All right. Mo Carthon was the running backs coach. Coach Gibbs was the linebacker coach, or maybe the defense coordinator. But he was the linebacker coach, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Gibb, because Coach Zimmer was the defense coordinator. So once I left Dallas, I went to New Orleans. Now at this point in time, Sean Payton had just got the head coaching job in New Orleans.
Right.
But he knew the type of guy I was, knew the type of guy I was in the locker room. So when I left Dallas, Coach Payton picked me up in New Orleans. All right. So once I get to New Orleans, once I leave New Orleans, now take it. I played in the NFC East when I was in Dallas. So we played against the Eagles twice a year.
Right.
So when I was in Dallas playing there 4 years, I played against the Eagles 4 times. And then when I got to New Orleans, I was in New Orleans for 3 years, and somehow our contract, I played against the Eagles like 3 more times when I was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we played against them in the playoffs as well. So when I left New Orleans, the special team coach of the Eagles, because I was a big special teams guy.
Right.
The special teams coach for the Eagles is now the head coach for the Ravens, Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah.
He was the Eagles special teams coach for a while. You know, so he's seen how good I was on special teams, so he brought me to Baltimore. All right, so that's how I got to Baltimore. Now watch this, how it goes full circle. When I leave Baltimore, my receiver coach, Todd Haley, is now the head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
My receiver coach when I was in Dallas.
Yeah.
Now he's the head coach of Kansas City Chiefs. I leave Baltimore, now I'm in Kansas City. So that's how I maneuvered my way, but I worked my tail off. Right. Don't get me wrong. But it's all about relationships. You know, it's all about relationships. You got to work your butt off, keep praying, and do the right thing by people. And one thing about it, Coach Haley, you know this if you see this. Coach Haley used to get on me every single day. I'm talking about Coach Haley used to dog cuss me when I was in Dallas. Yeah. But what he was doing, man, I'm so thankful for him though. I'm thankful for you though. I'm so thankful for Coach Haley because he made me so mentally tough. You know, but he used to say stuff, man, that if you're on the street, you're ready to fight.
Right, you're ready to go.
You're ready to go. But at the end of the day, but you understand it's a bigger purpose. You understand what he was saying, but you got to listen to what he's saying, but not how he's saying it.
Right.
So every day I show up to practice, whether I'm getting dog cussed or not, yes sir, no sir, you know what I'm saying? I'm the same guy every day.
Right.
And that's one thing coaches, they want to see you consistent. Be consistent. Let me know who I'm getting off the field and on the field. Let me know what I'm getting so at least I know how to work with you. I don't know how to work with you if you're inconsistent. One day, you know, you catching a ton of balls. The next day you dropping a bunch of balls.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. You know, so that's how it was. So, but Coach Haley, I'm very thankful for Coach Haley. He did a lot for me when it comes to my mental toughness. He did a lot for me coming into the league. But that's all I knew. So it wasn't like that, you know, I got to Coach Haley my 6th year in the league, and he's talking to me like that. He was talking to me like that's my first, 2nd year in the league. So I'm thinking when you get to the league, that's how you get coached. Yeah. You know, so I didn't know anything different.
Yeah,
so I was
the standard for you.
That was the standard.
All you knew. Yeah.
So I was fine with it because now, as the years went on, I could take anything. And even to this point, you know, of course I got to pray for a lot of stuff, but I feel like I'm mentally tough because of Coach Haley, because of the things I went through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But that's how things go full circle and not burning bridges and understanding, you know, it's a bigger picture. Because if I would just went off at the hinge and just, you don't talk, I'm a man, you don't talk to me like that.
Testing on you,
Jeremy, Jeremy, you don't get it. You don't get it, Jeremy. It was to the point, man, where we had family day. We have a day off. Yeah. And we had family day during training camp. Man, I couldn't even bring my family up, man.
Really?
Because they could come and watch one of the practices and stuff like that.
But you knew how he was.
I already knew.
So you didn't even feel comfortable seeing them like
that. Nah, y'all don't need to come up. Stay where you at. You don't need to come up. I see y'all when training camp over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. But back to when I was telling you about how I was just going, you know, from team to team. Because I needed to find myself faith-wise. Yeah. And I really feel like God was just bouncing me around until I got to a space to where, you know, I was spiritually locked in. Right. You know, and I got Kansas City. Kansas City was a family environment. Enjoyed it. But, you know, it was tough. And one thing about it is, and I tell kids all the time, we used to be in the stretch lines. Coach Clark, we used to be in the stretch lines, man. And while we're stretching, this during training camp, we're stretching. It's 110 degrees up in St. Joe. So anybody that played with Kansas City understand how hot St. Joe get in the summertime during training camp. You got about 15 pounds of equipment on, 115 degrees. You're practicing twice a day. After that first week of practice, you don't practice about 14 times.
Yeah.
So we sitting in the stretch line stretching, and Coach Clark used to always yell out, "Still your mind. Still your mind." That's what he used to always yell out to us. And what he was talking about, he wasn't talking about like steel, like take something.
Right.
He was talking about more like iron, metal, steel. Still your mind, because at the end of the day, we got a bunch of lactic acid done built up in you. You sore, your hamstrings sore,
Cramping up.
You physically tired, you're mentally tired, because all it is, you emotionally tired because you don't know if you're gonna make the team or not. This during training camp. So, and all it is football, eat, football, eat, football, eat. That's all it was. And so he used to always yell that out, like still your mind, still your mind. And he was talking about it don't matter what you're going through right now. It don't matter what type of ailments you got going on right now. You got a job to do.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't let anything negative, you can't let this sun get into your brain. You can't let just anything prevent you from coming out here and doing your job today.
Right.
Regardless
So
of how you feel.
Mental warfare aspect of it.
Exactly. And I just take that lesson with me in life, and I try to install that in kids that I go and talk to, because you're going to have things that can come out at you that's going to try to prevent you from doing the things that you're meant to do, or things that you want to do in life, and your goals.
Right.
But you got to still your mind and don't let anything negative get in your mind that's going to prevent you from doing what you got to do. And negativity can come from anybody. It can come from your family members, your friends, just people that don't really even know you.
Right.
It could come from yourself with self-doubt about certain things. You can't feed into any of those things. I'll give you a prime example. My grandmother, I told you I was raised with my grandmother.
Right.
I love my grandmother to death. When I was growing up, my grandma used to always say, "Boy, you need to put that football down, because they ain't gonna never put food on your table."
Right.
Now, it's not her fault, but she just never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
So it's hard for the adjustment to happen, because she's not really understanding that it's actually
something that's achievable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault her for it, but that is something that could play in your mind.
Of course.
Especially by a loved one. So you might have your parents, kids, you might have your parents that try to that may distract you, not knowing they're distracting you. They just never seen what you're trying to become. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta still your mind, regardless who's telling you can't do it. Regardless, like my grandma told me, but I don't blame her for it. But these are things that's gonna happen. It's part of life.
It's part of life.
It's part of life, and you just gotta deal with it and keep moving forward. So that's one thing I don't riff-raff a bunch about my life.
That's all good.
But these are things I went through.
Content,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
These are things I went through to get to the point I'm at. And even now it's still the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Open my business up, the Premier Sports Academy. Here we go.
You got the merch already. Premier Sports Academy, come shop.
Come through. But even now, being a business owner, it's still times where, man, it's a grind. It's a grind. Sure. But you gotta stay focused. You gotta stay focused. You gotta keep praying. You gotta just keep counting your blessings. You just gotta keep believing, man, and just keep working. And keep working. But it's still a grind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it don't change. The grind never change.
It's always the same. It's always the grind.
It just switch up. The grind is always there. It just switch up what you're grinding about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
like you got to stay ready, be in that right mindset.
Exactly. Because one thing about it is with me, I had to grind to get to the league, right?
Right.
To get to the highest level you can get to, you had to grind. In order to do that in the business world, guess what you got to do?
What's that?
You got to grind.
100%.
You got to go right back to it and grind again. You know what I'm saying? To get to the point where you want to get to. So the grind don't stop. It's just a different grind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But keep faith, keep focus. At the end of it, you're going to be where you want to be.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah,
that's what it's at.
100%.
But that's my life, man, leading up to it, man. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the content. So when was that moment in your career where you kind of knew it was time to hang it up? You know, was it somebody you went against or somebody, you know, you got lit up one time, an injury? What was it? When was that moment for you?
And everybody that has retired, you're going to feel me on this. You're going to feel me. It's when I wasn't recovering as quick.
Yeah.
My feet started going. My hips started going. I'm in pain. Look, I'm walking around with back plasters. Back plaster, things you peel off and put on you to keep you hot. Man, I got a back plaster on my hips, my hamstrings, my shoulders, my quads, just my back, just keeping stuff hot so I can go. I'm taking, I mean, you'd probably do this. I mean, I was doing this anyway when I was a little younger, but I'm taking 4 Advils just to get through practice.
Yeah.
If we got a game on Sunday, usually when I was young with spring chicken, we got a game on Sunday. I'm sore on Tuesday. I'm not really sore on Monday because I took a Toradol shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's an anti-inflammatory shot. They kind of knock the edge off to get you back.
Get you back, right.
So I take that shot on Sunday before the game. It don't wear off to Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Some people swear off the next day, but mine wore off on Tuesday. So Tuesday, I'm sore as on the what? Wednesday, once we start practicing, on Wednesday, the soreness get out. Thursday, I'm back. Yeah, half a practice Wednesday, I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? Thursday, I'm good. Friday, I'm good. Back to the game. But as I got older, Sunday we'll play the game, right?
Right.
Monday, I'm still good because my shot ain't wore off yet. Tuesday, I'm feeling it. I'm limping, getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I'm still going through it. Thursday, I'm starting to be all right. Friday, I'm okay on Friday. Saturday, we're traveling for the game.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we playing the game. But then my latter years, like my last year or two.
Yeah. The recovery just...
So my last couple years in the league, that Saturday, now I take my Epsom salt bath before the game. That Saturday night after meetings, we in the hotel.
Yeah.
Epsom salt and green alcohol. Thank you, David Patton. He told me about that remedy.
David Patton.
He told me about that remedy.
Yeah.
But now, I'm like, I'm praying when I wake up in the morning.
That you're good to go.
That I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm praying about. Please, because this I can tell you good to go. When you first get out of bed and you put your feet on the ground, that's going to tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah.
As soon as your feet hit the ground, they'll let you know if you're good. But that's how I knew it was time for me to hang it up. When we started having in practices, individual period, that's the first period we get into. We got the receivers split up. Coach doing receiver stuff. I tell coach, my pain pills ain't kicked in yet. I gotta hold off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can't do anything. Yeah. I can't really go full speed right now until it kicks. But that's when you start knowing, okay, the time is near. It's about that time. Because I wasn't playing a position. I wasn't playing like a quarterback position where I really didn't have to go. I mean, quarterbacks mentally, they got to be there.
Yeah. Right.
You know, kickers, they didn't really have to be exposed as long as their legs is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When they don't kick all the time. But for a receiver,
it's different.
It's different. You can't be out there just jogging through routes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you get
and
your
it's
head taken off.
Exactly. And it's a Wednesday. You know, you got your own scouts watching you. The coach is going to be watching you on film. You know, so you got to be putting work in practice. Practice is just as important in the game than the game, honestly. So I had to be full speed.
Definitely.
So that let me know, okay, it's about to be a means to an end.
Yeah.
You know? So that's when I knew it was time, man. But like I said, one thing I want to leave with before I just finish all my stories, my babbling on about my stories, man. If it wasn't for Jesus,
Yeah.
If you don't hear anything else I say,
Yeah.
I'm saying it with a smile, but I'm so serious. I'm so serious. If it wasn't for Jesus, if it wasn't for God, I would not be where I'm at right now. I would not be there. You know, so that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. You take anything for anything I said. Focus on God. Believe in God. Trust God. And He'll see you through.
Cool.
That's my story, man.
Yeah, I like it. I appreciate it. So rivalries. What were
Okay.
some of the best rivalries that you played? Now I know you played for New Orleans, so the New Orleans and Atlanta. That's always a crazy one from what I've heard. I've never experienced it in person. So far as to being in the stands or anything. Philly and Dallas. I know those fans in Philly are crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So what are some of those like? What were those experiences like?
Starting out with Dallas. The crazy thing about it is, you know, Dallas and the Redskins, that's one of the
and
biggest.
Washington, yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is, everybody in that division was a rival.
Yeah. I feel like it's different when you got that star on your helmet, man.
It is different.
I feel like everybody is.
That's why when I was there, we was the America's team. And it wasn't because everybody liked us. It was either everybody loved us or they hated it. You know,
but it's still must-see TV.
Exactly. You know,
everybody gonna watch the Cowboys play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we was America's team. And that was the first year that we got voted as America's team. I forgot, I don't know if it was my first year or my second year. But, so of course the Redskins Robbery, that was big.
Right.
You got the Eagles Robbery. The Eagles fans they crazy. They used to throw eggs at the bus on the way to the game. We'd be on the, I guess it's called a turnpike. We used to be on a turnpike coming off the highway. Yeah. Going, man, you get eggs.
They just waiting for y'all.
Like they got aim. Like we way up on the highway.
And they just beaming.
And they hit you. They hit you. You know, so it was different, man.
They even, I remember hearing that they even used to have a jail underneath their stadium. Like, I don't know if it's still there, but that was one of the like myths or rumors that I remember hearing when I was younger, is that they used to have a jail underneath their stadium. It was always crazy to me. Like, that's nuts.
Yep, sure enough. But like I said, I don't know too much about the jail part of it. But
yeah, good thing.
But it's crazy.
Yeah.
But the rides were crazy. And going to New Orleans. New Orleans, of course, Atlanta. Atlanta, that's a huge rivalry. That's always crazy. We both play in domes. But that's a big rivalry.
Everybody's super fast.
Yep.
Everything is moving 115 instead of just 100 miles per hour. So yeah, I can imagine that was crazy.
But I tell you what, man, that myth, it's not even a myth about trying to beat New Orleans in New Orleans.
Yeah, what was that like, man? I know when you got there, you were playing with Drew Brees, obviously, he was there at that point. Marcus Colston, Reggie Bush.
Yep.
What was it like playing with those guys, and then just kind of speak on, like you were saying, playing in that dome, man? Because, you know, as fans, we're seeing it on TV. You can hear it kind of, but you always hear the commentators talking about you can barely hear anything. It's, you know, rowdy. You know, sometimes you hear the players talk about it too, so just kind of touch on that. What was that like?
Playing in New Orleans, I'll give you a prime example. My first home game playing in New Orleans, this was post-Katrina.
Okay.
So I played in the first game back in New Orleans after Katrina hit.
Yeah.
I'm talking, you had all type of stars there at that game. But it was so loud. It was so loud. And then when Steve Gleason got the punt block.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do
Steve
remember
Gleason
that.
got the punt block.
So you were on that team?
I was on the team.
Oh,
I was
wow.
there. The crazy thing about it is me and Deloach, he recovered it.
Yeah.
Deloach, what's up, man? Deloach from a Hosky, if I ain't mistaken.
Really?
Perfect County or Hosky, from around that way. Me and him, once Gleason blocked it, I'm right behind Deloach.
Oh, really?
Trying to get to the
We're
ball.
going to have to edit that in. We're going to make sure we see that.
I'm trying to get to it. The reason I didn't get to it because I go through the A gap.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the person protector stood me up. I'm talking about, I come through there trying to get a block as well.
Yeah.
And I get stuck right in the middle of the hole. And then Deloach, he got to run start, so he scoop it up. He in the end zone, he scored. But that game was just so loud and so emotional because after we won that game, you had grown men. Everybody was in there, even players I'm talking about just boo-hoo crying.
Yeah.
It was so emotional because you had a lot of people that was where they went at for shelter.
Yeah.
A lot of people died in there. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And just everything that they have lost in that city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was super emotional to come back to New Orleans and the win, because at that point in time, that's all they had their hat hanging on was the New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints.
We was all they had left. You know what I'm saying? We was the only hope they had, you know, and we had an amazing year that year. But that game back, their first game back was crazy. It was crazy.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Cool.
And of course, Baltimore.
Yeah, what was
The
Baltimore?
Steelers. The Baltimores and Steelers.
Oh my goodness, I know that one is on a different level too.
And that year I got to Baltimore, we played the Steelers 3 times that year. We played them twice in the regular season, because same division.
Right.
And then we played each other in the playoffs,
Yeah.
the AFC Championship game. And we got beat 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
By the Steelers. But that game, that's the most physicalest game I've ever been a part of.
Really?
Playing Baltimore and Pittsburgh. That game, hands down, there is not another team rivalry that get more physical than those 2 teams when they playing each other. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I'm talking about, you see guys getting knocked out.
Really?
Like, I mean, you see guys get knocked out playing the game, but
not like it's
it was constant hits.
Yeah.
Constant. Yeah, you know, it was crazy. But then Kansas City, Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland had the best fans. Like I said, I'm not an Oakland fan, but I respect their fans to the fullest. That's one of the funner places to play, because they gon' MF you. They gonna give you the middle finger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
give you the business as soon as you walk in.
It's gonna be wild. They gonna talk about your mama, talk about your girl, talk about you. You know, so it's just all of that. You know, so it was good times.
Cool. You still into bowling? I checked out one of your interviews in Kansas City.
I'm glad you looked at that, man.
Yeah, I did. I checked
that.
it. I told you I've been doing a little bit of research. So you still into bowling?
You gotta respect my bowl game. You gotta respect it. You gotta look. My family don't even like bowling with me no more.
I'm gonna have to test that out. One of my boys, he's been bowling since he was like a little kid. He actually came within like a couple of frames of making a national team as like a younger guy. So I that's something I want to see. So Kenny, I know you're gonna be watching, bro. Kenny, we might have to set it up. Kenny and Terrance Copper.
Set it up. Look, so when I was in Dallas, I got my own ball. I had a ball that was made with purple and red.
Yeah.
Purple and red. And I was a straight line bowler. I learned how to bowl in college. I took a bowling class in college.
Yeah.
And so that's how I kind of fell in love with bowling. But I was a straight line bowler. And so when I went to the place in Dallas, they made my own ball. They said they could put a weight in it so it'd curve naturally for me.
Wow.
Because I wasn't a bowler that could make it curve. I was a straight bowler, but the weight in the ball that they put in there would automatically make it hook for me. So that's almost cheating.
Yeah, I was about to say, so like you had an advantage off rip, okay.
But I just knew my ball.
Yeah.
You know
so is this the same one that smells like fruit?
Smell like fruit.
Smell like
fruit.
I was like, dude, I was watching it. I was like, bro, he said it smelled like fruit.
It smelled like fruit.
I feel like you were the type of dude to have that though, man. That's like a Terrance thing.
I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
It smelled like fruit. So I'm definitely a bowler.
Yeah. So let's kind of get on to the fashion side of it, man. You grew up, the 80s, right? 80s,
you grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, so you kind of grew up in that era that I kind of look back to for my style in a way. I like that vintage stuff, 80s, 90s, like you said. So what were some of the things that y'all were into back in the days? And then, who were some of the guys that y'all looked up to in the fashion world? I want to dress like him, or I want to do what they're doing.
Well, the brands that I used to wear back in the 80s when I was young, and I'm about to take you back.
Okay.
I might take you too far back.
All right. You might. Let's see.
Remember Carl Kanai?
No. Too young.
Please tell me y'all remember Carl Kanai. You remember Carl Kanai?
Nah, I don't.
That was That was what I used to wear, like when I was younger. Like if I got some Carl Kanai,
You were starting.
But I'm little though. I'm
Okay,
young. I'm young.
right.
It wasn't like I was in the club with Carl Kanai.
Yeah.
But I was young. But that's the Carl Kanai. Cross colors. Remember cross colors?
Mm-hmm. I do remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Cross colors. But those more of the urban brands we used to wear. But then like we got real big in there. Of course, Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. Tommy
Chaps.
Hilfigers. Yep.
You know.
Yep. And I feel like Tommy is actually making a comeback right now.
You think so?
Yeah, if you got some stuff in the tuck, let me know.
You still had the real big on FUBU.
Yeah. Okay.
Iceberg.
So
Remember Iceberg?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So those are things that I wore back when I was young. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking about not even high school yet.
Yeah.
Middle school. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But once I got to high school, man, it was Tim's.
Legendary. Legendary.
You're not gonna find me with anything else on when I was in high school, but Tim boots and white Uptowns.
Yep.
It was one point. That's all I was wearing.
Really?
Tim's. I was wearing Tim's with shorts.
So you had them in the tuck, like you had more than one pair then.
Nah, I just kept them
Just
clean.
kept 'em clean.
I had that eraser. I had that eraser.
And you just putting
Brushing
in
them off.
work, brushing them off. They fresh, let them dry off, and we back to it.
We back to it, but
Okay,
that's
I
what
like
it was.
that.
So I had to get the Timbs with the double sole with the rubber cushion in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get the ones with the. It was two types of Timbs back then. A lot of people, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I can't describe it as the Timbs with the double soles with the brown cushion at the top of it. Then you had Timbs that was just
The
the
boot
whole
itself,
boot,
like
just the boot itself.
Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're
But
talking
wheat
about.
Timbs, wheat Timbs. I would have sometimes wheat Timbs, black every now and again, but definitely the wheat Timbs.
Gotcha.
That was what I did, man.
So is there anybody you looked up to like that you were like, oh, I gotta have that just because they have it, or I don't know if it, musical influences, like whatever. Like, is there anybody you looked up to in that sense?
You know what? Not really. I was just. It wasn't so much about what they was wearing. It was really about how they was wearing it.
Yeah.
I was a big Tupac fan growing up.
Okay.
So I used to love. I mean, I didn't wear the do-rag around my head all the time, but sometimes he had like a do-rag hanging out, you know, stuff like that.
So you ever had the shirt, the jersey unbuttoned, the baseball jersey unbuttoned?
You know what?
The do-rag.
Throwback jerseys was big.
Yeah.
The throwback jerseys. Like the Dan Marinos back then, like the for real
the
throwbacks,
authentic
throwback jerseys.
Okay.
That was real big back then.
Gotcha.
But that was really about it, man. When I was in high school and different things like that. But if you got you a throwback jersey, or you was doing
You
it.
were doing it. You was doing it. Drippy. And I'm pulling out my jerseys all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, like summertime is all you catch me in. For real. If I'm not reffing, if I'm not going to make a sale or something, jersey. Even when I'm making sales, jerseys. I'm big jersey guy.
And you know what's so crazy about it, Jeremy? And I hate to even say this. Crazy thing about it is,
What?
now you won't even catch me in a pair of tennis shoes.
Really?
Yeah, like
Oh, the Crocs.
Crocs.
You do love them Crocs, man. You be having the gold. You got the yellow ones too, right?
but it ain't bougie. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you gonna always find me in some dress shoes.
Dress shoes.
Dress shoes. I started because playing in the league, we always had to dress up.
Yeah.
You know, when we travel different places like that, we had to dress up all the time, and that's where I got a lot of my fashion sense from, being able to just travel in different places.
Right, of course.
And you run into different guys in the locker room. Guys got different styles. I like that.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? I
gotta
like
have
that.
that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily saying I gotta have that, but just you like people's styles. You know what I'm saying?
You kind of create your own.
You kind of create your own style of what you see.
Guys. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You create your own style, and I got into dress shoes. You know what I'm saying? I started wearing dress shoes, and I wear dress shoes with jeans. Like I wear jeans and dress shoes all the time, but they can be nice.
Yeah.
And I can be your old pop square toes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not gonna be like you gonna get something saucy,
they
right?
be nice, but that's where I got my dress shoes from.
Okay.
You know, so just because I had to dress up all the time for away games and different things like that, and then just seeing the vibe with people. But I don't really wear tennis shoes like that anymore.
Really?
Really.
So in high school, did you ever Did you ever big on Jordans or Nikes or anything in particular? No, never big on those things.
I had one pair of Jordans that Steve Breston, we played together in Kansas City. Steve Breston was a big
Steve.
He was huge when he played for Michigan.
Okay.
And also played with the Cardinals.
Got you.
Steve Breston, good dude. My first pair of Jordans.
Really?
He had a contract with Nike, and we was in the league, and he got me a pair of, what's the patent? Was the 11s or the 12s? Which one are the 11s?
11s. The 11s are like
the black and red with the white patent leather
the
around
brands,
the top.
yeah, on the side, the patent leather like on the side.
Yeah.
He
got me a pair of those.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you were,
but I want a real.
I want a
big
pair.
Yeah, but I wasn't a big Jordan fan. For one, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford Jordans back then. Even if I could afford them, I'd rather buy dress shoes.
Interesting.
Spend a lot of money on Jordans. I felt like with dress shoes, I can wear dress shoes anywhere. Yeah. I can fit in anywhere with dress shoes.
True.
I couldn't go everywhere with tennis shoes on.
That's how my dad is, man. My dad, like, he really doesn't rock a lot of sneakers.
Yeah.
When I'll come back, I'll buy some Jordans or something like that. Be like, how much you pay for those? Man? I'll be like, man, like anywhere between 180, 200, 250. He be
now my son,
geeking.
my oldest son, man, he's that guy. He's a Jordan guy. Talking about Jordan, well, you got to keep the box. I'm like, what you keep the box for?
Yeah, you got to, because that keeps the value, man. You got to keep the box. You got to keep the receipt. That's another thing. You got to keep the receipt in the box. And if you try to resell them, you never know. People, are they authentic? They want to do all their little research.
So
I show you, I got the receipt. Yeah.
I never got in that fad, man.
Okay, I understand that. Well, I got a couple rapid fire questions for you, and then we'll wrap up. All right, here we go. First thing that really comes to your mind, you can expound on it if you want to.
Okay.
But yeah, got a couple for you. Okay, so your favorite NFL player growing up?
I got two.
Okay.
Craig Ironhead Haywood, Terry Glenn.
That's pretty cool.
Terry Glenn just died.
Yeah.
A year or two ago.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Got a chance.
That was pretty cool that you had a chance to play with him.
Got a chance to play with him. Yeah. My favorite receiver growing up, and I got a chance to play with him in Dallas.
You want to know something crazy? When I was a little kid, I want to say about 6 or 7, NFL 2K was a thing. It wasn't Madden yet, but I used to play with the Dallas Cowboys, and I used to run a fly route every single play with Terry Glenn. And I loved that play so much. When I was playing against a computer, it always worked. I ended up writing a book, like a mini book, when I was like 6 or 7. And the name of it was called A Boy Named Glenn, and it was based on Terry Glenn. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's pretty dope.
Yep.
Favorite NFL player now?
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Drew
Oh
Brees.
my God, he's different. He just broke the record this past week, so that was pretty cool.
Yep.
So have you ever been featured, or a team that you've been a part of, been featured on Hard Knocks?
No, and I'm glad.
I remember talking about that.
I'm not a fan of Hard Knocks.
Yes, I remember having and I was hoping that you would expound on this.
I'm not a fan of Hard Knocks because I know what guys going through in training camp, and I don't think the public should be able to see all those things. They shouldn't be able to see guys' dreams getting crushed. You know what I'm saying? Because they getting cut. They shouldn't see certain things. Certain things they shouldn't be able to see. But certain things, of course, they should be able to see. But certain things they shouldn't be able to see those things. I feel like certain things are private, and they shouldn't be able to see those things.
I agree. Most impactful or most influential teammate that you played with?
Shucks. That's a few.
I was about to say, I'm sure you have.
Of course, Drew Brees. Then you got Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson was a smart dude. He used to, but it's so many guys, man. Yeah. It's so many guys that poured stuff into me that I learned stuff from. Yeah. You know, but the reason I say Keyshawn is because he was the first guy, like when I was in Dallas, coming in as a rookie. He took me on his wing a little bit. He was just telling me certain things. And he was saying how, he said, Cop, he said, the money that you make and the people that you meet gives you a good start to life once football is over with. Yeah. Because football, this is a fairy tale. This is la-la. This is not real life. Playing in the NFL, it's not real life. Your real life don't start until after you retire. Right. And the money that you make and the people that you meet gives you a good start to life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
once life begins. They don't begin until after you're done with football. So I always kind of took that with me. So Keyshawn was really one of the most impactful guys. But like I said, I learned from so many guys in the NFL. I don't want to leave anybody out. Yeah. But I learned from so many guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got you. Favorite coach you played for? Could be head coach or positional coach, whichever one your absolute favorite. I know it's probably hard for you to pick, but yeah.
Favorite coach, I'm going to say, of course, all my head coaches, but CJ, call him Tiger, he's a receiver coach down in New Orleans.
Okay.
He's still there now.
Cool.
Favorite coach.
Yeah.
Cool as a fan, and Todd Haley as well, but Tiger, he knew his stuff.
Yeah.
He knew his stuff. And he was cool. He was real with us, but he knew his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Craziest moment of your career? Could be high school, NFL, college. What's your craziest moment of your career ever? I know it's kind of broad,
this is the most embarrassing moment of my career.
Okay.
This is the first time, the only time really, that I could say that I really showed another side of me. High school.
Yeah.
My junior or sophomore year in high school, we was playing against Kinston Vikings. And before we played him was a guy named Kelly Hardy. I actually played with Kelly Hardy at East Carolina. He played defensive back. But he played running back at Kinston High School. 4'2" guy.
Yeah, oh God.
Good size. And so I'm on defense in high school, I want to say my sophomore year. And he hit that curve. He hit the corner. He run up the sideline. I am coming in from the safety position, maybe safety or corner, I'm not sure. And I got to hit him.
Yeah.
And I shied away from it. Like, look, I closed my eyes and I did that on him. And look, the defensive captain, he chewed me out right then.
Really?
I'm talking about right then he chewed me out. You better not ever do that, such and such, such and such. I'm talking about while I'm getting up. Yeah. He on top of me, dogging me out right now.
Right? Had to. Though.
He had to, and I respect him. I respect him for the utmost because of that. Yeah. He got into me right then while I was on the ground, fussing and cussing me out right then. I ain't gonna say who cussing, but he was fussing. Brent Jameson, I appreciate you.
That's dope, bro. That's awesome. All-time favorite musical artist?
Tupac, hands down.
First car? So many, right?
First car, Chrysler Concorde.
Cool. Dope. Favorite accessory or article of clothing you currently own? I saw you not too long ago. I remember you had the Louis Vuitton crossbody. That's one of my big things. Crossbody.
Yeah, I like messenger bags.
Messenger bags, yeah.
I got a few messenger bags.
Okay, and what about as a kid? Favorite article of clothing or accessory that you had back then?
Oh shucks. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
Okay.
I can't think of it.
Hey, it's all good. We'll wrap up after this. I just want to give you an opportunity to just promote your business in a way, kind of tell people what you got going on. With Premier Sports Academy.
I appreciate it, man. This I own and operate, executive director here. Me and my wife, the Premier Sports Academy. This is our logo right here. You can follow us on Facebook. Go to our website. It's actually the Premier Sports Academy.net, or on Facebook or Instagram. So what we do here, we train athletes ages 6 on up to pros. We train guys in basketball, football, speed and agility, strength training. We have basketball leagues here. So it's really just catered to giving back to the youth. We do combine training. So everything that we do here, man, is really catered to giving back to the youth, because my idea for the academy was, it was certain things that I wish I would have known when I was younger. Yeah. That I found out later, whether it was from grade, schoolwork, educating kids on the things they need to be doing, of course. SATs, summer programs. We get kids involved in summer programs where they're not just here playing. We actually have summer programs activity where they gotta keep doing schoolwork, during the summer as well, but especially like math. Yeah. Especially the math part of it, because you can lose everything. You sit out a whole summer forget everything you learned about math, so we continue to do those things.
Okay. Nice.
But we have so many things that we offer, but definitely the speed and agility, strength training, football training, basketball training. Summer league, we have travel basketball, AAU basketball. We have 7-on-7 football. Like I said, the facility is a 20,000 square foot facility. We have batting cages. We have a full gymnasium in the back. We have football fields outside. We have a weight room upstairs.
Yeah, so you got pretty much everything you need right here.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I enjoyed it. Great content. I enjoyed it. This has been episode 1 of Good Talk. I'm JJ. Peace.
Hey, I'm like, hold up. I'm flexing, they saying I glowed up. Put a perky inside of my cola. Hotline blinking, no Motorola. Like, wait, it's deuce. I got the sauce. I'm lit forever. Ay, my money counter sitting.